What would you say if I told you that the comfort and luxury of today's cruise ships started with a humble paddle steamer crossing the Atlantic? Quite hard to imagine, isn't it? Well, buckle up because we are about to embark on a journey through the history of cruise ships. The story starts in the early 19th century when a British shipping company, Peninsular and Oriental Steam Navigation Company, introduced a steamship service in 1822. However, these early voyages were far from the pleasure cruises we know today. They were primarily for mail delivery, with passenger accommodations a secondary consideration. The real game changer arrived in 1840, when the British and North American Royal Mail Steam Packet Company, later known as the Cunard Line, launched their first paddle steamer, Britannia. This marked the beginning of regular transatlantic voyages, offering more comfortable accommodations and amenities for passengers. Fast forward to the late 19th century when the White Star Line launched the RMS Britannic, the first ship designed purely for pleasure cruising. This was a revolutionary concept at the time, travel for the sheer joy of it, with no particular destination in mind. Then came the golden age of cruising in the early 20th century. Ships like the RMS Titanic and the RMS Queen Mary set new standards for luxury and elegance. Despite the tragic sinking of the Titanic in 1912, the popularity of cruise travel continued to grow. World War II put a temporary halt to the leisure cruise industry, as many ships were requisitioned for war service. However, the post-war era saw a resurgence of interest in cruise travel. The 1950s and 1960s marked the advent of megaships, with companies like the Italian Line and the Norwegian America Line launching larger and more luxurious ships. The late 20th century ushered in a new era of innovation in cruise ship design and technology. Royal Caribbean's Sovereign of the Seas, launched in 1988, was the first ship to boast a 5-story atrium and glass elevators, setting a new benchmark in the industry. Today, cruise ship design has reached dizzying heights of luxury and sophistication. From climbing walls and ice skating rinks to Broadway-style shows and gourmet dining, modern cruise ships are floating cities, offering a kaleidoscope of experiences to their guests. To summarize, the history of cruise ships is a fascinating journey from humble paddle steamers to floating palaces. It started with the Peninsular and Oriental Steam Navigation Company's mail delivery service in the early 19th century. The launch of the Britannia by the Cunard Line in 1840 marked the beginning of regular transatlantic voyages. The late 19th century saw the introduction of the first pleasure cruise ship, the RMS Britannic. The early 20th century was the golden age of cruising, with iconic ships like the Titanic and the Queen Mary. The post-war era brought in the era of mega ships, and the late 20th century saw groundbreaking innovations in ship design and technology. Today, cruise ships are marvels of luxury and sophistication, offering a myriad of experiences to their guests. So next time you step aboard a cruise ship, take a moment to appreciate the rich history that has shaped these floating cities. After all, every voyage is a journey through time.